men kind of look at me like, he's crazy. How much did that cost? Is that me? Is that my head on someone?
That is your head on your own body.
Was that Oprah doing the split?
Yeah, no.
I'm hit.
All right. Let's talk about you hosting the Oscars, shall we? I don't know why. This is the most ridiculous thing because I know your whole career, but I just never would think you'd do it because I always think of you as being shy. Why do I think that you're shy?
I don't know. I'm not shy, but because I don't go to the Oscars and stuff like that much, so you wouldn't think I don't do a lot of stuff.
Right.
That's why it's odd for me to be doing that.
Right. I know, and that's why I'm glad that you're here. I'm always like the first time you were here not too long ago. I was thrilled, and now you're back again, and I'm doing
more stuff now.
Yeah. How's it feel? How's
it feels good to be doing more stuff.
Well, and to support this hilarious movie, which everyone saw today and loved.
Oh, good. Good. So they see the movie beforehand?
Yeah. Not always, but we showed them this. I wanted them to see it. We'll get to the movie in a minute, though, but let's stay on the Oscars for a second, because I would think that there's got to be more than a 10-second delay with you. There's got to be like I mean, you're going to curse, aren't you? You can't
I don't plan on cursing.
Well, I know you don't plan on.
I'm not going to, when I get to the Oscars, I'm going to say then I'm going to say other things.
Yeah.
No, I don't have any plan to, but every now and then, a curse may slip out. Like just now, I said on your show.
You did, yeah. That's twice now.
Twice.
Twice. You told me what you said, so that.
Yeah. So maybe I'm not planning on, but who knows?
Right.
But that Oscars is a delay, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess they put a delay on.
Like if I were to come out on the Oscars in a sky blue tux and pee on myself, they would put that on. They wouldn't show that, wouldn't they? Would cut it out and.
How do you cut out peeing on yourself?
If it's on a delay, you don't have to. You could cut close, and you realize I'm peeing. Then you come in, change the outfit. This is Hollywood, The
fact that you're worried about peeing on yourself makes me nervous for you. And the year that I hosted, you were nominated, and I guess I didn't realize this, but people made a big deal because you left after your category, but it wasn't that you had like sour grapes or anything.
Not at all. What happened was after I got nominated, right? And it went, you got your, and Alan Arkin did a wonderful job and deserved this Oscar. So I'm sitting there all cool, then all of a sudden Beyonce's pops leans over me and said, "There'll be other times," right? I'm like, okay, cool. Then Spielberg is on my shoulder. Then Clint Eastwood walks by and he's like, "It's okay, buddy." And I'm like, wait a second, I'm not gonna be like this all night. So we just left, but I didn't leave because of sour grapes.
Yeah, it was just kind of.
It was kind of like, I'm not gonna have a whole night of "It's okay."
Yeah,
it was like,
right. And you started out, like I said, doing stand-up. And what were the first impressions that you did when you were, like, how old were you when you started doing this?
15.
And you did who did you do?
Well, I did Muhammad Ali. He was a heavyweight champ back then. So I did Ali, and I would do Cosell, and I would do Jimmy Carter. That's how long ago it was. I had a Jimmy Carter and Billy Carter jokes. That's how long ago.
Wow. Wow. Did anyone ever get mad at you when you were doing impressions of them?
No. There was a old comic myth. You may have heard this. That years ago, I did this thing where I did Jackie Gleason. And supposedly Gleason heard it and wrote me a note that said, "Murphy, stop Gleason." That never happened.
Really?
I wish it had. I'd have that on my wall.
Right. How does that get started? That's
crazy. It was one of those rumors. It floated for years.
See, and I'm so glad you said that because you don't do a lot of television and there are all these rumors and I want you to clear up some while you're here right now. And of course, I really do not read magazines like this, but they told me about this today because you were going to be here. One of the magazines says you own your own island. Did you just buy an island?
No, but there's if you go down to the Bahamas and do one of those boat tours, on the tour they always tell people, "And that island's Eddie Murphy's right there." And people always go, "I saw your island," and I don't have no island. It's part of the tour. I have no island.
You should claim it. I mean, obviously, it's that's hilarious that they point out an island of yours.
That's Eddie Murphy's island.
Do you? It says you don't have a computer or email.
No, I don't do any of that stuff.
You don't? Do you own a computer?
No, I don't have a computer.
When you write longhand?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I have my first cell phone I got because I went out after I got divorced. I went out and I met a girl and I was like, can I have your number? And she said, sure. I was like, well, let me get a pencil and a piece of paper. And she goes, oh, you want to do this the old-fashioned way? And I was like, so I went out and got a cell phone.
But by that time,
I didn't want to be old-fashioned.
she'd probably left by the time you got back with the phone. She's still standing there waiting for you. So that's very cool that you write everything longhand. And so you don't email, but now you text and stuff.
I can text and I could send a picture and receive a picture.
Good.
And I just got that like 2 months ago. Thank you.
That's sort of like me.
Very clappy. You can text and send a picture. That's wonderful.
I'm just about like you, but I just learned last year to text and email and stuff like that. That's brand new for me. You don't drink, and you've never been drunk. Oh, you've been drunk one time in your life?
Twice. Once on my honeymoon, I got drunk, and I got drunk once after I got a fight, and I was mad after the fight and got drunk after.
But you don't drink?
No,
ever?
I don't drink. No drinking.
Wow. And you're a clean freak.
Well, I wouldn't say I was a clean freak, but I'm very clean.
Well,
what is a clean freak? Like,
I know.
I like things clean.
Okay.
Does that make me a freak?
Well, then, I like things clean too, and I don't think I'm a freak. But see, that's crazy, that clean freak. But like someone said, you shower like 4 or 5 times a day.
Not 5 times, maybe two. If it's a really nasty day, 3 days.
All right.
three showers.
Three showers.
Yeah.
That's not a freak then.
Yeah, that's not a freak. Just a very clean person.
Good. I'd rather a clean person than a dirty person.
Yeah, then. Yeah.
All right. Hey, I don't mind dancing with you. How often do I get to dance with Eddie Murphy?
Not too often. I thought they would play something a little slower though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a little slow, but.
We can slow dance together sometime.
Hey.
Yeah. So we haven't seen each other for a while, although I heard that you did see me.
I see you all the time driving down Coldwater Canyon in your car. It's like almost like you have a little light in the car. Your face shines.
Yeah, I keep a light with me when I drive
We can see
around.
you like a half a block away. There she is again. We see you all the time.
I saw you that one time that you couldn't roll your window down because it was a new car.
The window was broken.
And then I think I see you once in a while, but it's always a different car. I think you drive a different car every day. I think.
Not every. No, actually, we drive the truck now most of the time. We drive that Range Rover most of the time.
Oh. Well, I actually, because it's funny, because that's the only time I see you is coming up, because you go down to like Starbucks or
I go to Coffee Bean.
Coffee Bean. Don't you have a coffee machine at your house? I mean, why do you leave for coffee?
It's not the same when you make it at home. You have to go down there and get them to make it the right way.
Well, because you don't really leave. You're like me. I'm so much a homebody. I don't really do anything at all. I never leave my house, and I understand you're the same way.
Pretty much, yeah. But I leave sometimes, though. Like to go get that coffee, I go get
Yeah. See, I wouldn't even do that.
But I love my house. I've always been a homebody when I was a kid, and I love my house. And where am I supposed to be?
I don't know. No. You used to, like, the one thing that I would assume you did, and when I was younger, I went out, like, when I lived in New Orleans, I went out to clubs at night. I was always out dancing. That's what I did.
Yeah, I would go, you mean back in the 20s?
Yeah, back in our...
I used to do that
Not
too.
the 1920s, but when we were 20.
When we were in our 20s, I used to go to a discotheque quite a bit.
And was it what?
That's how long ago it was. We used to call it
the discotheque. And like, what were some of your favorite songs that you would dance to? Do you remember?
Hey, you know what was the hot music then was Saturday Night Fever had just come out. So right around the times I was old enough to get in the club, that was the music that was playing. Yeah.
And would you try to emulate John Travolta's moves? I bet you could do that.
No, because John Travolta couldn't cut it like I could back then.
Yeah, that's true. That is very, very true.
Back then I could do all the latest dances.
Yeah, like what?
Just whatever, any dance, the funky Broadway, the funky chicken, back then it was a lot of funky dances.
I know the funky chicken, but have you heard of the funky Broadway, anybody?
The funky Broadway?
Oh,
she heard of the
some
funky
people
Broadway.
have.
The funky Four Corners, you heard of that?
Kind of. Now everything sounds familiar.
The funky four
When you
corners.
put funky in front of it,
If you put funky in front of it.
then I go, yes, I have heard of it.
They don't do that no more,
Yeah.
do they? There's no funky dance now.
No, that's not hip to say anymore.
There's a stanky leg, though.
Well,
You could do the stanky leg, not the funky leg.
yeah.
Do the funky leg.
We're back with Eddie Murphy. We just played One Direction during the break. He doesn't know that song. You're too busy making babies. You don't listen to music.
Well, they're for the teenagers, though, right? The
Some, yeah, but some of us grown-ups like it too.
But y'all cannot imagine me sitting home. So put on One Direction for me.
I can. One of your 9 children plays it all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure
I
my
yeah.
14 and 16-year-old.
I'm sure they know it.
Who One Direction.
Yeah, and they need to let you know what's going on in the world too, because we'll talk
I know
about...
what's going on.
No,
Yeah, I know. I'm up on it. I didn't know who One Direction. I don't know that, but I know what's going on. Yeah.
I know it, man.
I'm hip.
All right. And that proves it right there. I'm doing that. That's what we do.
Yeah, One Direction. I love One Direction. That is my favorite group. The singing and the dancing and the look.
Do you know about Throwback Thursday, where you show a picture of, like, people post pictures of themselves early on in careers?
No.
Like that.
Where did you find that funny ass picture? That is hysterical.
Yep.
That is hysterically funny.
There. Throwback Thursday.
Yeah. Is that me? Is that my head on someone?
That is your head on your own body.
Was that Oprah doing the split?
Yeah, no. No, we
I did
didn't
be like
mess with
Oprah.
that one. That's it. I love you, and yet I had the opportunity to go to your house and hang out with you, and I didn't go.
Yeah, you didn't come to that party.
Yeah, because it was like after 10. Everybody went around 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, well, I couldn't go because we had the baby and she was breastfeeding, so I couldn't go. So I was in the house anyway.
Right. So I went to this party, and there were about 20 of us, and Eddie couldn't go because he just had the baby. And then he told everyone to come to his house afterwards, and so everybody went.
Everyone came but Ellen.
Everyone. And I heard how great it was, and you have like an arcade there. Tig Notaro was playing basketball in there, but you had just had the baby, and because you're like me, you don't like to leave the house.
I'm a homebody.
Right. Except lately you're not a homebody. Now you're doing all kinds of things. You're about to host Saturday Night Live, which is going to be so exciting. That's going to be... Are you excited?
Yeah, I am.
But why now after all these years?
I kind of wanted to go back after they had the 40th anniversary thing a few years back, and when I went there and I saw everybody and I saw all the actors and actresses and the people and the crew, and I got this big burst of nostalgia, and I started feeling like, oh, I want to go back. And so I've been wanting to go back there since then. We want to go at the right time, though, and Dolomite made it the perfect time because we got a funny movie.
Right.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about that. Yeah, we'll talk about Dolomite, but if you haven't seen My Name is Dolomite, it's fantastic, and you're incredible in it, and I think you're going to get nominated for an Oscar for sure. I mean, but so now Tom Hanks has this Mr. Rogers movie out, and you had this character, Mr. Robinson, right, that you did on Saturday Night Live, and I heard you met Mr. Rogers when you were doing it.
Yeah, I met him at NBC, and he was really nice.
Well, sure. He was Mr. Rogers.
Yeah. But I think he liked what we were doing because, we weren't making fun of him.
Right. Right. So will you do...
Because I love Mr. Darrow. Look at him.
Yeah.
He's the sweetest man.
Yeah.
Look how big my nose was.
That's not a good angle.
Yeah.
I don't think the nose...
You know what it is? I have a thicker mustache now. It's the same nose. It's just... It's camouflage. Yeah.
Since this is longer, this looks shorter?
Yeah, this...
I see. Smart. You figured that out.
Yeah.
You didn't have that knowledge back then.
Years and years of seeing photos and going, is that my nose?
So you've already... I'm very excited about everything that you have going on, especially since you are such a homebody. You just finished Coming to America 2.
Yes.
How great is that?
Yes. I couldn't be happier with how it turned out.
Yeah?
Yeah, because that movie more than any picture that I've done, I don't know what it is in the culture where, like on Halloween, some people get dressed up as characters from the movie. So a lot of people had this expectation, like you know, don't. People would say to me when they found out I was doing it, don't that movie up, don't mess it up. And I say what? So it's like, we've gone above and beyond what anybody would think. I'm really, really happy.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great to hear. But you do all these characters, and that seems like such a hassle to be in all that makeup with. I mean, how many hours are you in makeup to do all those characters? How many characters do you do in that film?
In this new one?
Yeah.
Well, I have all the old characters from the first one, the old Jewish guy and the barber and the prince and Randy Watson and now I do this old farmer I'm doing. So maybe it's 5 or 6 now.
Wow. And do you like doing that, sitting in?
You know, every time I do a makeup movie, I always say, this is the last time I'm doing it. Then I always wind up back in the makeup chair.
Do you forget you say that, or?
No, just something that I say I'm never doing it again, and then something that happened years later where it kind of makes sense to do it. It was like so. So I'm never doing it again now.
All right, well, we'll show you this tape. So you have, as we just mentioned, you have this new baby who's now a year old, right?
My new son,
Yeah,
yes.
is a year old. And you have 10 children.
Yes.
10 children. See the reaction when you say, does it seem like a lot to you, or does that seem okay?
No, it seems okay. It's funny the reaction the audience gives. Uh-huh. Yeah. Men kind of look at me like, he's crazy. How much did that cost? And women is kind of like there's something sexy about it, I think.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy must be doing his thing.
Yeah. You're doing your thing.
Eddie Murphy be getting it in.
Yeah. Yeah.
He don't be bull.
Uh-huh. Well, it is a lot, and especially their age is like 1 to like 30, right?
Yeah, my oldest is 30, and my youngest is 1. And I just had my first grandchild.
Oh, congratulations. That's fantastic.
Well,
and
there they are. There
and
we
how
are.
do you feel about having a grandchild?
I like it. I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
It's
Well, you
cool.
like kids. It's clear that you like
Yeah.
family and you like kids. We are back with Eddie Murphy, and now we're joined by your Coming to America co-star, who happens to be your daughter. Please welcome Bella Murphy. Hi, Bella.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. It's so nice to meet you. First of all, you're both in the same house, but where are you and where is your father?
I'm in this back house and he's downstairs doing his thing.
Okay, and he's looking at you right now. Oh, now you're looking at each other. Okay, so now okay. So you're in the back house, and you live there.
No, oh yeah, I do. Sorry, I don't live in the back house. I live in the house.
Okay. Why did he send you to the back house? Why can't you?
Back house. It's the guest house. We call it the back house.
Okay, because there's probably a front house. There's probably side houses, all kinds of houses. So congratulations, Bella. This is your first movie. What a great first movie to be in.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's so crazy.
Have you
So
been
excited.
asking him for years to be in a movie?
Yeah, I wanted to do acting since I was in 3rd grade. So I was always asking, like, can I be in this one? But we have a rule in our house. We're not allowed to work in this industry until we're 18. So I didn't even really work until...
Wow. That's a good rule. Finish school and 18. Although we wouldn't have any childhood films if everyone followed that rule. But anyway, so tell everybody who you play in the movie.
Okay, so I play Oma, who is one of Akeem's 3 daughters. She's the middle child. She's super studious and smart, a little bit of a badass. I get to beat up a couple people, which is really fun, as sad as that sounds, but she was really cool to play.
Yeah, it was great. The movie is really great. And so, did you feel pressure being in this movie with your dad?
In the beginning, I was a little nervous. I knew people probably were going to look at it and be like, oh, is she funny like her dad? Can she do this like her dad? And I was definitely a little nervous going into it, but once I got to set, everybody was so nice and welcoming, and all those nerves kind of just went away, and I just did my thing, which was really cool.
Yeah, very cool. And what was it like to work with your daughter, Eddie?
Just a proud papa day every day. You know, you go to work and you get that proud papa feeling that you have when you go see your kid do something amazing. Only I'm at work and my baby girl was on the set with me, making a movie with me. I was just super proud every day.
Y'all are on the cover of Essence magazine. Fantastic shot. So great.
Yeah.
So you grew up with so many people. I mean, he knows everybody and everyone comes to the house all the time. Who have you met that has been there that was amazing? Like, oh my God, I've just met so-and-so.
Yeah, so I remember actually when you guys were talking about that party, it was at that party I remember I forgot that famous people sometimes show up to my dad's parties, so I was very unprepared. And I was in the dining room in my pajamas, and then all of a sudden Jimmy Kimmel started walking through the door, and then all these other big celebrities, and then Leonardo DiCaprio walked through the door, and I started freaking out. And I think my dad knew that Leonardo DiCaprio was coming, but he didn't tell me because he wanted it to be a surprise. But my sister Zola.
All my daughters of all ages love Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes, we do.
So I wanted to tell them, not tell them till he was in the house. Like I said, you know who's downstairs right now? Leonardo DiCaprio. Just see him run off.
But I immediately ran upstairs and told my sister, and we came downstairs, and I just lingered around him all night like a weirdo and stared at him.
I'm sure he's used to that.
Yeah, he's very used to women lingering around him. But he is such a great guy, though. He's just the sweetest guy, and he's funny, and he's smart. I'm sure he was great with you.
Yeah, he was awesome. Such a nice person.
Yeah. So Eddie, you're 19, right, Bella?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Eddie, you were 19 when you were on SNL. Were you? How were y'all similar at that age?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if anyone's similar to me. I was a unique bird.
Well, I agree with you there. There's nobody like you, Eddie. You are a special human being.